Deep in the mountains of southern Pennsylvania lies one of America's most secretive Cold War creations, the Raven Rock Mountain Complex, often called the underground Pentagon. Built during the early 1950s, this massive facility was designed to ensure the survival of the U.S. military command in the event of nuclear war. Located about 6 miles from Camp David and roughly 60 miles from Washington, D.C., Raven Rock was strategically positioned to be close enough for rapid evacuation, yet far enough to survive a direct strike on the capital. Hidden beneath 700 feet of solid granite, the complex contains miles of tunnels and dozens of hardened chambers large enough to accommodate thousands of military and civilian personnel. Like Cheyenne Mountain and Mount Weather, Raven Rock was part of the broader continuity of government's strategy, created to guarantee that leadership and defense capabilities would remain intact even if Washington was reduced to rubble. Inside, the complex was equipped with blast doors, shock-resistant buildings, self-sufficient power plants, water reservoirs, and sophisticated communications technology. Its purpose was clear: to serve as the command center for the Department of Defense, maintaining contact with nuclear forces, military bases, and allied commands worldwide. Over time, Raven Rock grew into an underground city, complete with dormitories, cafeterias, and medical facilities, capable of supporting extended operations. During the Cold War, officials rehearsed evacuations of the Pentagon to Raven Rock, ensuring that the facility could seamlessly take over in an emergency. Even after the fall of the Soviet Union, Raven Rock remained active, modernized to confront new threats like terrorism, cyber warfare, and electromagnetic pulse attacks. Though rarely acknowledged publicly, it continues to symbolize America's determination to preserve command and control in the face of unimaginable catastrophe. To many, it is the very embodiment of the hidden machinery of survival, an invisible fortress waiting silently beneath the Pennsylvania hills. The creation of Raven Rock was born out of the intense paranoia and urgency of the early Cold War. By the late 1940s, as the Soviet Union developed atomic weapons, American planners realized that Washington, D.C., and the Pentagon itself could be obliterated in a surprise attack. The U.S. government needed an alternate command center somewhere secure, hidden, and hardened against nuclear blasts that could ensure survival of the military's chain of command. In 1948, the Army Corps of Engineers began surveying sites in the Appalachian Mountains, eventually settling on a remote area near Blue Ridge Summit, Pennsylvania. The location offered natural protection thanks to solid granite ridges and was close enough to Washington for rapid relocation. Construction began in 1951 under deep secrecy, with massive blasting operations carving out a vast underground complex. At its core, Raven Rock was designed to replicate the Pentagon's essential functions, earning it the nickname Site R, or the Underground Pentagon. Communications were its lifeblood. Thick cables, hardened switchboards, and secure radio networks were installed to keep commanders connected to bombers, missile silos, and overseas bases even in the chaos of nuclear war. The facility's enormous blast doors, weighing dozens of tons, could be sealed instantly to protect those inside from radiation, chemical attacks, or shockwaves. Raven Rock was also intended to house the Joint Chiefs of Staff, senior defense officials, and thousands of military personnel, complete with dormitories and food storage to last months. In essence, it was not just a bunker but a parallel military headquarters, ready to assume control the moment Washington fell. The very urgency of its construction reflected the doctrine of mutually assured destruction. Even if the Soviets struck first, the U.S. would retain the ability to respond decisively. Raven Rock thus became a silent cornerstone of Cold War survival strategy, built on fear but grounded in preparation. Inside Raven Rock lies an underground city built for survival in the gravest scenarios. Engineers blasted out 5 miles of tunnels and constructed massive chambers that could accommodate thousands of people for extended stays. The facility is protected by enormous steel blast doors, each weighing more than 30 tons, which can be sealed instantly to create an airtight barrier against nuclear fallout or chemical attacks. Within the granite walls, the complex houses self-sufficient utilities, its own power plant, underground reservoirs supplying fresh water, and air filtration systems capable of removing radioactive particles or biological agents. Dormitories line the chambers, filled with bunk beds to house both high-ranking officials and enlisted staff. Cafeterias can serve thousands of meals daily, while medical facilities ensure that injuries or illnesses can be treated without leaving the mountain. Communications are at the core of Raven Rock's design. It was wired with hardened telephone lines, satellite uplinks, and secure radio systems, all meant to keep the Department of Defense connected to nuclear forces, the Pentagon, and command posts worldwide. Even printing presses and broadcasting equipment were included to allow the government to communicate with the American people in a crisis. Over time, the complex expanded into a true underground community with offices, conference rooms, and recreational areas, allowing work and morale to continue despite the isolation. Many who have served inside describe it as eerie windowless corridors, constant humming machinery, and the awareness that it was designed to function while the world outside might be in ruins. Though much of its layout remains classified, Raven Rock's infrastructure has been repeatedly upgraded, ensuring it can withstand modern threats such as electromagnetic pulse attacks and cyber intrusions. More than just a bunker, Raven Rock was built as a parallel Pentagon, a hidden headquarters waiting silently beneath Pennsylvania's granite hills. Throughout its history, Raven Rock has been the centerpiece of countless classified drills and, on rare occasions, activated during real crises. During the Cold War, it was the destination for military leaders and continuity of government exercises, where mock evacuations of the Pentagon were rehearsed to test how quickly command could be transferred underground. Helicopters and convoys stood ready to move senior officials from Washington to Raven Rock within minutes of an alert. Inside, staff drilled on maintaining communications with nuclear forces, issuing simulated orders, and preparing emergency broadcasts to reassure the nation. These exercises, though rarely acknowledged publicly, demonstrated the seriousness with which the government viewed the threat of sudden annihilation. Raven Rock's importance did not fade after the Soviet Union collapsed. On September 11, 2001, the complex was reportedly activated as part of emergency relocation protocols. As hijacked planes struck the Twin Towers and the Pentagon, top Defense Department officials and military personnel were moved to Raven Rock to ensure continuity of command. Though exact details remain classified, declassified reports later confirmed that the facility functioned as one of the key secure sites during that chaotic day. In the years since, Raven Rock has remained on standby, its systems modernized to respond not only to nuclear scenarios but also to cyber warfare, terrorism, and large-scale natural disasters. Its drills now account for 21st-century threats, including electromagnetic pulse attacks that could cripple surface communications. While Washington continues to serve as the nation's visible seat of power, Raven Rock embodies the invisible safety net, a hidden Pentagon beneath Pennsylvania's granite, ready to assume control if the unthinkable happens. For those aware of its role, its existence is both reassuring and unsettling, proof that America can survive catastrophe, but also a reminder of how close such preparations have come to being used. With the end of the Cold War, many Americans assumed facilities like Raven Rock would fade into irrelevance, but the opposite has proven true. Instead of being decommissioned, Raven Rock has been steadily upgraded to meet the needs of a new century where threats extend beyond nuclear war. Today, it remains fully staffed and operational as a continuity of government site, with modernized communication systems linking it to the Pentagon, NORAD, and the White House. Its role now encompasses a broader spectrum of dangers: cyber warfare, electromagnetic pulse attacks, and even natural disasters that could paralyze Washington. After 9/11, the government invested heavily in continuity planning, and Raven Rock became a central player once again. State-of-the-art satellite systems were installed, fiber optic networks hardened, and new emergency protocols written to reflect 21st-century realities. The facility is also equipped to host joint operations between military leaders and civilian agencies, reflecting the interconnected nature of modern crises. For instance, in the case of a large-scale cyber-attack crippling infrastructure, Raven Rock could serve as a hub for both defense and response coordination. The underground complex has also been adapted for long-term sustainability, with updated living quarters, medical resources, and food storage designed for extended isolation. Its existence highlights an uncomfortable but essential truth: while the nature of threats has changed, the need for secure, survivable command posts has not. Raven Rock continues to function as the underground Pentagon, a backup nerve center ensuring that America retains decision-making capability even in catastrophic scenarios. Though much about its daily operations remains classified, the consistent investment in its maintenance and modernization proves it is far from a relic. Instead, it stands as a reminder that the invisible machinery of survival must evolve alongside the world's ever-changing dangers. Security at Raven Rock is as formidable as the mountain that conceals it, earning its reputation as one of the most hardened facilities in the United States. The approach begins with a long access road through Pennsylvania's forested hills, heavily monitored and restricted to authorized personnel. At the end lies a tunnel leading into the mountain, sealed by colossal blast doors weighing more than 30 tons each. These doors can close in seconds, locking the facility into a self-contained fortress capable of withstanding the shockwaves of a nuclear detonation or chemical and biological contamination. Beyond the doors, the underground complex is lined with reinforced concrete and steel, shielded by hundreds of feet of granite that absorb seismic vibrations and radiation. Raven Rock is equipped with independent utilities, including its own power plant, water reservoirs, and advanced air filtration systems that can scrub toxins, fallout, or biological threats from the air. Communication is also safeguarded with hardened lines, encrypted networks, and satellite uplinks designed to remain functional even under electromagnetic pulse conditions. On the surface, the facility is surrounded by fences, patrols, and electronic surveillance systems, creating a security perimeter that discourages even accidental trespassing. The surrounding airspace is restricted, ensuring no unauthorized aircraft can approach. Much of the facility's infrastructure remains classified, but declassified reports confirm the presence of redundant communication hubs, living quarters, medical stations, and secure command posts. Even cyber defense is prioritized, with shielding designed to resist electronic intrusion and attacks. To the casual eye, Raven Rock blends into the Pennsylvania landscape with only a few administrative buildings visible above ground. Yet hidden within the granite lies a fortress engineered to keep operating when the rest of the nation falls silent. Its immense security reflects its mission, to protect the command structure of the United States at all costs. Life inside Raven Rock has often been described as both unsettling and strangely ordinary, a blend of routine office work carried out in a setting designed for apocalypse. The facility was built to house thousands of people, including military leaders, defense officials, technical staff, and support workers, all of whom could live and operate underground for weeks or even months. Dormitories line the complex, with rows of bunk beds for enlisted staff and modest private rooms for senior officials. Large cafeterias are capable of serving thousands of meals daily, supplied by stockpiles of long-term food reserves. Medical facilities are fully equipped, from basic clinics to surgical rooms, ensuring the health of residents during extended isolation. Offices and command centers mirror the Pentagon's functions, with secure phones, computers, and satellite-linked consoles allowing personnel to continue their duties seamlessly. Daily routines are structured around rotating shifts, ensuring that operations run continuously, 24 hours a day. Soldiers and officers monitor radar and communication feeds, while clerks and analysts process endless streams of data, maintaining the machinery of command. For recreation and morale, Raven Rock includes gyms, lounges, and even chapels, recognizing that survival is not just physical but also psychological. Yet despite these amenities, life underground can feel claustrophobic. Windowless corridors, constant mechanical noise, and the knowledge of why the facility exists create a tense atmosphere. Those stationed there are acutely aware that their work is designed for the worst-case scenario, a time when the world above might be devastated. Still, camaraderie often forms among the personnel, as they share the unique responsibility of keeping the U.S. military command alive. In many ways, Raven Rock is less about comfort and more about resilience, a hidden Pentagon where ordinary days are spent preparing for extraordinary disasters. Because of its secrecy and scale, Raven Rock has inevitably become a subject of fascination, speculation, and pop culture storytelling. Often nicknamed the Underground Pentagon, it has appeared in books, documentaries, and even TV shows that explore America's hidden preparations for Doomsday. Popular media such as The X-Files and Doomsday Preppers have referenced similar facilities, while investigative journalists have linked Raven Rock to America's shadow continuity of government system. Its existence was once so classified that few even knew of it, but after leaks, declassified documents, and whistleblower accounts, the public learned just enough to spark a flood of conspiracy theories. Some believe Raven Rock is connected to other secret bunkers like Mount Weather and Cheyenne Mountain through vast underground tunnels, forming a hidden nationwide network of survival cities. Others claim it serves as a refuge not just for leaders but also for secret experiments, alien technology storage, or even an alternate society prepared to govern in secrecy. While these theories stretch beyond available evidence, they persist because so little is known about daily life inside. The facility's massive security, restricted airspace, and lack of public accountability fuel the perception that it houses more than what the government admits. Even local residents near Blue Ridge Summit tell stories of strange convoys, military helicopters, and sudden lockdowns that hint at hidden activity. This aura of mystery has made Raven Rock part of American cultural mythology, a symbol of both reassurance and suspicion. On one hand, it represents preparation and resilience. On the other, it evokes elitism and secrecy. To many, the idea of an underground Pentagon suggests that in the darkest hour, power and protection are reserved for a select few. Whether truth or myth, Raven Rock embodies the uneasy balance between security and transparency, and its legend continues to grow in the shadows of the Pennsylvania mountains. In the modern era, Raven Rock has taken on an even broader role as the threats facing the United States have evolved. While originally designed for nuclear war, the facility is now an integral part of Homeland Security planning, addressing 21st-century dangers like terrorism, cyber warfare, and large-scale natural disasters. Managed under the Department of Defense, it functions as a hardened command and control center that can be activated whenever Washington or the Pentagon are at risk. The 9/11 attacks demonstrated how quickly such sites could become essential, and since then, Raven Rock has been continually modernized to meet new realities. Hardened satellite links, fiber optic networks, and encrypted systems ensure that it can serve as a backup nerve center for the U.S. military, even if cyber attacks or electromagnetic pulses disable surface infrastructure. Its communications hub can connect with NORAD, nuclear forces, allied commands, and FEMA coordination centers, making it one of the most versatile emergency facilities in the nation. In addition to defense against hostile attacks, Raven Rock is also prepared to support government continuity during natural disasters like hurricanes or pandemics, providing a secure base of operations when normal infrastructure fails. As cyber threats grow in sophistication, the complex has invested heavily in shielding and digital resilience, ensuring that its networks remain uncompromised. While many details remain classified, experts suggest Raven Rock's role today is less about waiting for nuclear war and more about standing ready for any catastrophic disruption. This adaptability reflects a philosophy of resilience. Even if the nature of threats changes, the need for secure command posts does not. In an unpredictable world, Raven Rock continues to stand as the underground Pentagon, an invisible bulwark ensuring that U.S. command and control survive in the face of emerging dangers. Despite its critical role, Raven Rock has often been the subject of controversy and criticism, largely because of the secrecy surrounding it. For decades, most Americans had no idea such a facility even existed, even though it was built with taxpayer money and designed to protect national leaders. Critics argue that in the event of a catastrophe, only government officials, military personnel, and select staff would be sheltered, leaving ordinary citizens to face the consequences above ground. This perception of elitism has fueled distrust, with some suggesting that Raven Rock represents a government for the few, insulated from the struggles of the many. The 1970s brought Raven Rock into the spotlight when investigative reports and local accounts revealed glimpses of its underground operations, shocking nearby communities who had lived unaware of the massive bunker beneath their hills. Later, after 9/11's revelations about continuity of government planning renewed public debate, with civil liberties advocates questioning how much power leaders could exercise from behind sealed blast doors without oversight or transparency. Others worry about the lack of accountability. If Washington is destroyed and command shifts underground, how would the public know what decisions are being made, and who is truly in charge? Defenders of Raven Rock counter that secrecy is not only necessary but vital. They argue that revealing too much would compromise security and make the facility a prime target. To them, Raven Rock is a lifeline, ensuring survival in worst-case scenarios and providing reassurance that government will endure. Still, the tension remains. Raven Rock embodies a paradox. It is both a fortress of continuity and a symbol of hidden power. For many, its existence raises profound questions about democracy, fairness, and the balance between national security and public trust in times of crisis. Raven Rock is not a standalone fortress but part of a wider network of secret facilities designed to guarantee America's survival under any circumstance. Along with Mount Weather in Virginia and Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado, it forms a triad of continuity of government sites that balance military command, civilian governance, and aerospace defense. Within this system, Raven Rock serves primarily as the underground Pentagon, focused on ensuring the Department of Defense retains command and control even if Washington, D.C. is crippled. Mount Weather, by contrast, functions as a civilian capital in exile, intended to house the President, Congress, and other branches of government, while Cheyenne Mountain specializes in early warning systems and aerospace defense. Together, these sites provide redundancy if one is destroyed or incapacitated. Another can step in immediately. Communication lines between them are hardened, encrypted, and redundant, ensuring seamless coordination even in the chaos of war or large-scale disaster. During the Cold War, drills rehearsed the simultaneous activation of these bunkers, practicing the transfer of power and continuity of both civilian and military functions. Today, this interconnectedness has only deepened, with secure satellite links and fiber optic networks binding them into a unified command structure. Raven Rock, with its massive underground chambers, complements Mount Weather's government leadership role and Cheyenne Mountain's aerospace defense expertise. In this way, the U.S. ensures that no single strike, disaster, or cyber attack could cripple its command structure entirely. The system reflects a core philosophy of decentralization, survival through dispersal of power centers, although the precise details of how these facilities would operate in a coordinated emergency remain classified. Their continued investment and modernization reveal their importance. Raven Rock's inclusion in this network underscores its indispensability not merely as a bunker, but as a cornerstone in America's invisible shield of survival. Today, Raven Rock remains one of the most secretive yet vital facilities in the United States, a symbol of resilience built out of Cold War fear but still relevant in the 21st century. Officially acknowledged only sparingly, it continues to function as a backup nerve center for the Pentagon. Modernized with advanced communications, hardened defenses, and the ability to withstand both nuclear and cyber threats, its purpose is simple but profound: to ensure that America's military command and national defense never collapse, no matter the scale of disaster. For the public, Raven Rock represents a paradox. It is both a reassuring fortress of continuity and a reminder of the fragility of the world above. While most citizens will never see its blast doors or walk its dimly lit tunnels, its very existence demonstrates the extraordinary lengths taken to preserve governance and command in times of crisis. Like Mount Weather and Cheyenne Mountain, it occupies the blurred space between reality and myth, documented in official plans yet shrouded in secrecy that fuels speculation and conspiracy. What cannot be denied is its enduring legacy. Raven Rock is proof of a philosophy that leadership and defense must endure even when cities fall and communication lines break. Critics argue that its elitist protections highlight inequality, while supporters insist it is essential to national survival. In truth, Raven Rock embodies both an invisible fortress of power and a necessary safety net for continuity. Whether it is ever used to its full potential remains uncertain, but its presence beneath Pennsylvania's granite hills ensures that America will always have a hidden Pentagon, prepared for the unimaginable. In the end, Raven Rock is not just a relic of the Cold War, it is a living monument to preparation, secrecy, and the enduring will to survive.